Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to the West Coast Sports Podcast. I'm your host, Richard Frias Guzman, recording this on an early Wednesday morning. It is Wednesday, January 18th, 2023. I hope you guys are having a good morning, good afternoon, or good night, depending on when you're listening to this. Hope, you guys have been having a good week. I hope you guys have been having a good couple weeks. I know it's been some time since I've actually had a chance to record. I've just been having a crazy couple days and crazy couple weeks, but I hope you guys enjoy this new one. So with this one, it is episode 123. I will be switching it up a little bit as I wanted to go ahead and maybe try something different on my layout of the podcast, if you would. So with this one, what I'm going to do is actually talk a little bit about the Raiders, talk a little bit about the Dodgers, kind of give you quick updates on those two teams, and then we'll talk more in depth about the Lakers here moving forward. Kind of make it more centered around the Lakers, if you would, especially with them being the ones that are active in this season, and just kind of going on from there. But we all know that the Raiders always have all kinds of news. Dodgers, with the offseason going on, they have some news going on as well, so we'll just talk all about that as well. So with that being said, guys, I do just want to get right into it. Just want to remind everybody that you can find me on Instagram. You can find me on Twitter. It's going to be the same handle, West Coast Pod 702, West Coast Pod 702. So definitely drop me a follow. Send me any kind of a DM or any kind of message that you want, whether if it's you want to say hi, you want to talk about what kind of teams you like, what kind of sports you like, anything that's going on in sports right now, sports later on, history, whatever the case is, I'll be happy to talk to you guys. I always like to go and talk to my fans or people or my listeners. First of all, I'm just grateful for every single one of you, and if you can, definitely tell your friends, family members, whoever it is, co-workers, tell them about the podcast and help me grow it, please. So with that being said, guys, I do just want to talk about the Raiders, talk about the Dodgers. As the Dodgers, they've been having some news here and there coming up. You might have already seen the trade that came up with with Miguel Rojas with the Marlins. So Miguel Rojas, great shortstop, a great Latin American. I believe he's either Colombian or Venezuelan, or the Venezuela. So the guy is great shortstop, very, very great defensively when it comes down to it, especially with this new updated rule. They're not going to be allowing shifts to happen anymore, so you can have 3 players on one side of the diamond and 1 player on the other side. Now you have to have 2 players on each side of the diamond there, so you have to have a shortstop and a third baseman, and then a second baseman and first baseman in their more traditional positions, if you would. So with that being said, you have to go in and make sure you have a great defensive shortstop, one that can cover a lot of ground, one that can make some great throws. And Miguel Rojas has always been that. It's going to be great to go in and see him back in the Dodgers uniform. If those of you guys don't know, he did play some time with the Dodgers during the beginning of his career, if I'm not mistaken. We traded him over to the Marlins. Marlins have been having him for quite some time now. I know a lot of Marlins fans absolutely love him, but I think he's going to be really, really welcome at the Chavez Ravine over at Dodger Stadium. Definitely great to go in and see him back in the Dodgers uniform. Can't wait to go in and see him actually live or on the TV there. So definitely great to go in and have him back. If those of you guys, again, who haven't seen much of him or anything like that, definitely going to check out any kind of his, videos or anything like that, any kind of his posts or anything like that. You'll find him probably on Dodgers.com, maybe on YouTube or something like that. So with that being said, I do just want to also bring up another player for the Dodgers, James Outman. If you guys haven't heard about this guy, definitely go and check it out. He ended up playing some time as well. And he's been in the Dodgers organization now for quite some time, but in the AAA and AA teams. Started off in AA, worked his way up quickly all the way up to AAA. Shortly after being in AAA for quite some time, he ended up making his way right up to the major leagues. Ended up making quick access or making quick work when it came down to it. Went 5 for 6 in his first 6 at bats. I think he played somewhere around 20-30 games, if not that, if maybe even less. But he had a great time when he was out here. Just because the guy has a really great power, he's a great fastball hitter. Not that great when it comes down to breaking balls or anything like that. But we'll have to go and see maybe the hitting team is able to go and work with him or something like that, and maybe improve on that. For one of the things that I have heard a lot about the guy is that he's a great student of the game. He loves going to learn. He's a sponge dude, just likes to learn and get better. So you definitely like to go and see that. Maybe something that you quite haven't had from other players in the past or something like that. Maybe guys who kind of think that they're already, a certain level or better than certain people, and that they don't need to learn or anything like that, or don't need to get better, whatever the case is. But in this case, this guy is really, really humble, always looking to learn and improve himself. So you definitely like to go and hear that and see what happens. But hopefully the Dodgers find some sort of a way to make this guy, maybe not the starter, but at least have some starter-like games. Maybe give him quite a few at-bats and see what happens. And if, for whatever reason, if in those, 200-300 at-bats, if he's not doing all that great, then yeah, maybe put him back down to the AAA and see what happens. But I really do think that this guy deserves a chance, much like a lot of the younger guys in the Dodgers organization. And I think that's been one of the big reasons why the Dodgers made these moves to get Cody Bellinger, get Justin Turner over to other teams, and actually be able to bring in some new blood, bring in some guys who are hungry, who are more energetic, or maybe looking to get that World Series championship, who are hungry for it. I'm not going to say that none of those other guys were hungry for a championship or anything like that, but I really do think that it's going to force Dave Roberts into making some decisions that maybe he hasn't wanted to make in the past. He always talks about that he has his guys and this and that, and that's great and all, but you have to go in and sometimes switch it up. You have to be able to go ahead and get some new guys in there and see exactly what you got with these younger guys. But we'll see what happens. It is going to be an interesting season, but speaking of interesting seasons, the Raiders just came off of one, and they continue to go in and be in the news even after the season's well over. So ever since really Derek Carr got benched, I really think that this has been the talk of the Raiders for quite some time now. I'm not going to spend a whole lot of time talking about Derek Carr and talking about the whole situation. I'm really just going to bring up a couple things here. It seems like there's been some traction going on with the Lamar Jackson thing. And I really like that idea because I really like Lamar Jackson as a quarterback. I really think that he would be a cool addition to the Raiders. It would be really nice to go and see number 8, silver and black, having a black quarterback, having all these guys who are, have a certain attitude about themselves. Josh Jacobs has a certain attitude about themselves. Adams has a certain attitude about themselves, and then you get Jackson in there as well. You get a really swagged out core, if you would, So it'd be cool to go and see that. It'd be cool to go and have Lamar Jackson on the Raiders, but it is, in my opinion, a really, really long shot. Now, the thing that's going to make that possibly happen is the Derek Carr thing. So if Derek Carr, currently from reports, he's been actually working with the Raiders on coming up with a trade that can send him off into another team. But the thing is, he has a no trade clause. So one, it has to be not only a team that's interested in him, but a team that he's interested in going to as well. So if they can't figure out something like that, it is a possibility that they might look into releasing him. Now, my opinion, I do believe that either way, they free up some money, and I think if they release them, they actually free up a little bit more money, just depending on who they bring back. If they trade for actual players rather than draft picks for Derek Carr, then it's a possibility that releasing him might be the better option, and in order to free up more money. Now, if that's the case, we definitely go ahead and see that they will have enough money in order to sign Lamar Jackson, who's going to be making well over $50 million a year. So we'll have to go ahead and see what happens with all that. I am excited to see if the Raiders are able to maybe pull something off like that. But again, it's a really, really far-fetched idea, but we'll see. Now, the other things that have been kind of tossed around, people are talking about that Brady, Aaron Rodgers, and I don't know, especially the way that Brady looked. I know a lot of Raider fans were looking at that game against the Cowboys with Brady and the Buccaneers. A lot of people are not too happy with what they ended up seeing, not too impressed with what they saw. And I'm one of those. I didn't really like what I saw from Brady. I think Brady just kind of showed that he is the kind of player that he has been this year. And who knows, maybe he'll have a bounce back year or whatever the case is. The dude had one rough year, going through his divorce very publicly and everything. Going through all that mess and all that. I don't think that any of that would ever be good for anybody. But whatever the case is, if it is a bounce back year or something like that, then cool. I guess we'll see. And if the Raiders are looking to maybe jump up in the draft and draft a young guy, kind of like a CJ Stroud or maybe like a Bryce Young or something like that. People have been talking about those are the two quarterbacks in this year's draft that are best off to go ahead and execute Josh McDaniels' offensive scheme. And maybe that is the case. If that is the case, maybe they will go with a more older veteran quarterback like a Tom Brady, like an Aaron Rodgers or something like that. Or maybe they even just keep Stidham in there and then they battle it out in training camp, but we'll see what happens when it comes down to all that. It is just going to be exciting to go in and see what happens this offseason. Honestly, I'm a little bit worried and a little bit panicking, but hey, that's just being a Raider fan. But if with that being said, though, guys, I did just want to kind of transition over to the Lakers. But before that, I did just want to take a quick minute to go ahead and let you guys know that you can find a page on Instagram as well. It is my wife's page. It is Rosie's Designs EST 2022. Definitely going to drop that page a follow. I always tag them as well on my Instagram account as well, if you happen to be wondering there. But the page is basically going to be if you have any kind of events or parties or anything like that going on, and if you're looking for like some additional decoration that's also a snack. My wife makes these incredible chip bags that she can make any kind of like a design or anything like that. She still keeps the actual original packaging of the chips and puts it in there. Just kind of spices it up a little bit, kind of puts some nice little design or some lettering on there. If you have a particular character or something like that the party goer likes or something like that, she can always put that on there as well. But definitely go and check out the page again if you haven't done so already. It is Rosie's Designs EST 2022. I believe she even has a giveaway going on right now, so if you'd like to go and get something for free and check it out, definitely going to do so. And again, that is Rosie's Designs EST 2022. So with that being said, guys, I do want to just take a quick minute to go and talk about the Lakers. And what can I say? The Lakers went on their 5-game winning streak, had everybody looking like the Lakers were going to be doing very, very well, especially that they had that 5-game winning streak without AD. But we'll have to see what happens now. There has been some reports that maybe AD should be returning back soon, maybe to play about a handful of games before the All-Star break happens. And I think that'll be great. It seems like he'll be coming back a little bit sooner rather than later. Maybe he'll be able to go in and build up a little bit of rhythm and kind of get back into form before the All-Star break, and then he can spend the All-Star break, getting even better shape and getting ready to hit the ground running once All-Star break is over with. So with that being said, though, guys, I guess we'll see what happens with Anthony Davis when it comes down to all that. The 5-game winning streak that they had was absolutely incredible, but they shortly went into a 3-game losing streak after that. Having 2 really bad losses, one against the one that really messed me up was the one against the 76ers. So they had the 76ers going up against them off their back-to-back. There was talks about that Tobias Harris and that James Harden were not going to play, but guess what? They played. It seems like always the Lakers tend to get the best of all the other teams. Whenever a certain player is not going to play or something like that for one team, then out of nowhere, whenever they're playing against Lakers, hey, they're out of nowhere, they got better, But whatever the case is, when it comes down to that, it is what it is. I think it is just something that we should be expecting as Laker fans now. Everybody tends to want to always give the Lakers their best effort, and that's fine. I think it is just one of the ways that the Lakers can easily prepare themselves for the playoffs. It's one of the ways that they can make sure that they get the best out of every single one of those teams, and that kind of sets them up in a way, for the playoffs. But with that being said, though, it was a tough loss because I don't think they had any business losing that game. I think they should have been able to win that game and not allow Philly to come back and then have to leave it at the last minute for a last-second shot. I don't think that's the right thing. But there's been plenty of losses like that for the Lakers this season. I really get tired of kind of talking about those. We really just hope that there's some sort of a trade or some sort of a move that can happen that's going to maybe help out the Lakers in this situation. Maybe give you guys somebody that's a little bit better defensively or something like that, so you can really clamp down on that. You're really hoping that maybe when AD gets back, things change around a little bit. But are you really trying to bank everything on just the return of AD like that? That's a little much in my opinion. But there has been some really nice bright spots for this team where you've been able to see that they have the capability, they have the people, in order to go in and compete with almost any other team out there. We've been able to beat the Bucks. We've been able to go ahead and go up against the Kings and beat them, have a 5-game winning streak, beat the Nuggets and everything. Teams that have been at the top of their conferences. Even the Celtics, we were able to keep up with them as well. So, it just kind of shows you that This team is definitely capable of being able to compete with anybody out there. I really just think we're maybe a move or two away from being able to really compete with some of these teams. But it is what it is. We'll have to go and see. I am just maybe hoping that somebody is pushing, Jeannie Buss, Rob Pelinka, the Ramby, Kurt Linda, and Kurt Rambis into doing some sort of a move, because in my opinion, the way that LeBron is playing in his 20th season, dude is coming up with multiple 40-point games, multiple 30-point games, and I think it's being wasted, in my opinion. I mean, you have these great, amazing players, and you're kind of wasting their talents, or you're wasting their good years, if you would. Especially with LeBron. I mean, you don't know how many more years this guy has until he's going to be able to, until he's not going to be LeBron, But it is what it is. That's why these guys get paid the big bucks and everything. And in my opinion, I really just think you need to make a damn change, or make a move just to make a move. Show the team, show LeBron that you give a damn. Because otherwise, what are you really showing? You're just showing, hey, we're good. We're just gonna wait till next season. Like, no, you need to, what happens to every single season is to go for a championship. But if that's not the case, if they're already kind of leaning towards next season, then damn, we might as well just be tanking at this point, But again, whatever the case is, we'll have to see what happens. Tonight we got the Kings. We ended up beating the Kings in a really big shootout. I want to say it was like 4 or 5 days ago. It was like 136 to 134 or something like that. And maybe it might be a repeat of that or something like that. Maybe we can compete a little bit more defensively to make it a little bit easier on ourselves and not have to score 130 points. But we'll have to go in and see. It is going to be just the main thing, just kind of try to contain De'Aaron Fox. But with the players that are out right now, I really think it might be a little bit difficult. But hopefully we can work something out. We'll talk all about the game here moving forward, maybe tomorrow or Friday, just to kind of do a little bit of a post-game thing. But I am thinking that this should be another victory for the Lakers, as long as they find some sort of way in the fourth quarter to go ahead and just slow down De'Aaron Fox, or maybe if they can figure out a way to get some sort of a good lead and just build off of that lead in the fourth quarter. But we'll see what happens. Until next time, guys, I hope you guys have a great Wednesday. I hope you guys have a great week. Again, I'll talk to you guys either tomorrow or Friday. Take care. Peace.